Since 2010, the Young African Leaders Initiative, or YALI, has brought 700 young people from across Africa to the United States to study business, entrepreneurship, public management, and civic leadership at 20 American universities. The fellows selected for the highly competitive Washington Fellowship Program have a proven record of accomplishment, promoting innovation and positive changes in their organizations, institutions, or communities. Today, we will introduce you to some extraordinary young African women to share their experiences in the Washington Fellowship for Young African Leaders Program. Hello. Welcome to Our Voices. I'm Orion Itangishaka, and here with me is my co-host, Seminish Iyakoye. Hey, Lily, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you? But first thing first, welcome back.
Yes.
You were on a vacation in Europe.
Yes.
How was it?
Definitely, I was, and it was very restful. I really rested. You know, sometimes we just need that little break.
Yes.
My family and I went to Europe. We went to France. We were able to show our children Europe because they've never been there before. We went to Iceland, Belgium.
Wow.
And so it was really a great time to just be with family in Europe. And the weather was great. Europe was a little bit empty because, you know, they take their vacations in July and August. So I was able to be with family and just, you know, do some sightseeing in Paris and eat some Belgian waffles. And so it was great.
And stop by in Iceland?
Yes, we did stop by in Iceland and had some nice bacon there. So it was interesting.
Nice.
But I know you also had some time off. What did you do?
Yes, but mine was more of a local vacation. Some of our family members from my husband's and mine, they were visiting us. So we were going
From the continent?
From the continent,
Nice.
And some of them it was their first time.
Wow.
So it was an exciting trip for them. We took them to Virginia Beach, we took them to New York,
Nice.
to the Big Apple, and you know, we had a fun and adventure time, especially the kids. We had kids, so it was a very fun time for them, water parks and all that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And you know, whenever we have families from Africa, we get an opportunity to see things that we wouldn't even see because we don't really appreciate
We take
them.
things for granted, yes, exactly, and we don't even have time for it. So when they come, we also take that opportunity to explore some of the places we haven't seen.
Yes, in the U.S.
But we know while we were away, Amina,
Yes.
our co-host,
Yes.
she had her last show last week. Unfortunately, we were not able to give her a proper farewell.
That's true.
But she was the fun part of our team, and we are going to miss her,
Yeah,
right?
we're going to miss her very much, and we wish her, you know, all the blessings and all the, you know, good things in her next journey. And so, you know, we really appreciated her being with her, and I'm sure she's going to do well.
Yes, definitely. So
Yeah.
back to business. YALI.
Yes. Well, Seminish, what do you think about the YALI program? I know we've covered it for several years, and I know there, you know, young African people come in the U.S. to get some trainings, get leadership training. What do you think about the program itself? And I'm sure your service also spoke to some of them. How was that this year?
Well, this year I didn't personally cover the YALI, but I have in the past. And, you know, these are very young, dynamic, brilliant young people from the continent who pass through a lot of processes and get selected to come and be part of this program.
Correct.
And this is an opportunity for them to gain more skills, to be exposed to new opportunities, to network with each other, and, you know, get back new perspective they can implement in their career, in their future, in their respective work on the ground. So, I mean, I think YALI, it's a place of personal growth, and at the same time, a place of, you know, taking a break and, you know, seeing what else is out there from their day-to-day work, and also, you know, something they will take something from for their communities.
Right. I definitely think it's a very, very good program started by President Barack Obama because, you know, whenever you read something in books in school and you read things from advanced economies, you really don't understand until you actually see the manifestation of those things, you know, how, you know, big factories work, how big economies work. And so I think it's really a great opportunity for these young people when they come to the continent.
Indeed. So members of the Mandela Washington Fellowship through the Young African Leaders Initiative, or YALI, came to the United States to study in universities, network in the public and private sectors, and inspire change in their home communities. Some of the women in the 2023 YALI program say the chance to build their careers in the United States was life-changing. VOA Santani Labuto has more.
700 members of the 2023 Washington Mandela Fellowship through the Young African Leaders Initiative gathered in Washington before heading home to Africa. Now that their 6-week leadership training has concluded, they can take what they've learned and apply it in their communities. For women such as Christiane Lopez Miguel, the YALI opportunity to come to the U.S. provided the forum for collaboration that she couldn't have had in her home country, Angola.
One of the things that we gain as well is the cultural exchange and the opportunity to work with other young African leaders.
Miguel was able to work with YALI fellows from all over the continent to bring solutions to the people who most need them.
One of the things that we forgot sometimes to do is when we are bringing a solution for a community, we just bring the solution ready for them. And this is not a good way to start. You need to involve people that are living there, people that are facing that problem every day. So almost of the solutions they have with them, they just need help from someone that is more capacitated or have more resource to apply that solutions and make that solutions sustainable.
Continuing her work now as both a YALI ambassador and alumna, Miguel wants to inspire future female YALI fellows through the YALI's Africa for Her initiative.
And you can have sessions that to empower women and girls, not only in the entrepreneurial area, but in political, economical, and even with the skills, soft skills that can help you to achieve your goals and to disrupt the discrimination and the gender inequality.
Tlamelo Cindy Melamo, another fellow from Botswana, also valued that collaboration.
YALI is a very great platform, particularly for women, because it gives you an opportunity to learn a whole lot more and also meet other young African leaders, female leaders, and see that you're not the only one who's trying to make a difference in your community. And it's also a great platform because it empowers you as a woman to continue and to try your level best to continue creating change.
For Memory Mdebwe, a children's rights advocate and a fellow with the program, said the opportunities to challenge traditional norms on the continent has given her a refreshing perspective on her career.
It is very important for me as a woman to be in a program like YALI because it has helped me to connect with other young women that are also doing tremendous things in their communities. I think for the longest time we were coming from a community where what was traditionally expected of women and girls was to maybe marry and those kind of things. So to just interact with other women that have been able to break that kind of barrier has been really impactful for me as a person. It has given me more fuel, but also it has made me to understand some of the challenges that we can collectively deal with as young people as we also try to deal with the issues that are happening in our communities.
The Young African Leaders Initiative, run by the U.S. State Department, will welcome its 10th cohort next year, with application decisions being reviewed later this year. Anthony Labruto, VOA News, Washington.
Great reporting there from Anthony Labruto. Thanks so much. Well, now after 6 weeks of training at major universities here in the United States, I was able to pull aside a few young women during the 3-day summit that took place here in Washington, D.C. They shared with us the skills they gained and the overall experiences with the YALI program. Let's hear from Rasila Mureth from Tanzania and Gail Mutlong from South Africa, who came here in Washington, D.C. for the second time through the YALI program.
My name is Gail from South Africa. So last year we came for an alumni enrichment. However, I usually say this, we call ourselves the pandemic cohort. So the year we were supposed to come to America, we didn't come. We did it virtually, and that was kind of devastating. However, we did get the opportunity last year to come to Washington and to also get the experience of interacting and working with the institutions. So it has been a very beautiful experience and an exciting one, because now having to be back here again, you know, as an alumni, having to see the other fellows, you know, the excitement, and here to celebrate with them. This is an achievement. It's a big deal, and I'm so excited looking at them, and I'm like, guys, this is a big deal. I'm so excited. Actually, I'm invited to MC the main events, the main sessions. So with the other alumni who are here, they also facilitating other sessions. So I'll be emceeing and moderating only in the main hall where everybody is in. Yes.
Now we're going to turn around and see my sister here from Tanzania, not too far from Burundi. Welcome to Our Voices, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and welcome to Washington.
Thank you so much. So I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Risala Moreth from Tanzania, and 2023 Mandela Fellow. I was placed in Notre Dame University in business track. So far it has been really good. Back in my country, I work on STEM, inspiring and helping young girls to get back in schools and to create a safe environment in school.
And also here you do environmental things as well.
Yes, I work on climate change as well. Yeah, so I'm a climate change advocate.
So as you can hear, these ladies are involved in a lot of things. What have been some of the challenges that you're meeting in your fields, and how have you been able to address it? And were you able to address that here at the trainings that you were able to get, especially you who were here for the trainings for 6 weeks, and we'll come back to you, Gail, as well.
I would say the big challenge I've seen in my country, we have a problem of gender-based violence, which have been hindering so much of the girls who they don't get back to school or they don't feel safe to school, and then they decide to drop out of the schools. That has been a big challenge. But coming to YALI, it has really enlightened me because I met with some fellows who are doing the same careers in their countries, and we have networked, and we have also started to work on some strategies, and we have already agreed to network and work with some platforms that other fellows have created in their countries, and to adapt them in my country and try to see if they will help. So on climate change, I would say people are still not aware on human activities that are really contributing to climate change. So coming to YALI, I think I've learned on how I can use the digital marketing or the e-platforms to ensure that many people are reached to make sure they are getting awareness and how to work on them.
That's really great, Rusilla. You're not really reinventing the wheel. You're looking at what other people are doing elsewhere on the continent. Now for you, Gail, you doing women empowerment work. There's still some challenges, I'm sure, in South Africa. How are you mitigating that moving forward for young girls? And was there some tips you got from YALI Summit this year?
Wow, thank you for the question. One of the things that it's a challenge, I would also say that in South Africa we have a challenge of GBV, gender-based violence, and one of the things that we saw was that young boys are not being taught how to understand that having a powerful woman is not having somebody that you can oppress in order to feel powerful. So through our organization, we developed a program where we bring young boys in one place and we teach them, that it's okay to have a woman who is powerful because, hey, this person will add value to your vision. Secondly, one of the things I learned when I was here last year was that here in America, you'd find when you get into bathrooms, free sanitary pads. And you go to Africa, you go to many countries in Africa, South Africa being one of them, there's no such. We always have to reach out for sponsorship so that young girls from disadvantaged homes can be able to go to school, because that is what keeps them even from going to school. So those are the things that, I learned, and, I thank God for YALI because, one of the things that it advocates for is to empower Africans, and they do that even through, sponsoring our projects. They take out a lot of grants. Hence, I look at the young African leaders here, and I'm like, guys, you think, coming here for 6 weeks was big. What is big is what's about to come. That's right. Because there's so many opportunities. They are supporting us in everything that we do. But here's the trick: you need to get it. You need to get yourself out there. You need to avail yourself. Whenever they send an email or a notification to say there's a grant that is out, make sure you grab it, because they want to support the work that we do. So yes.
YALI is also a program that helps to build your leadership skills.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself forward in the next 2 to 3 years?
Oh, great question. Yes, so I really feel empowered right now. Yes, so through YALI, I have learned like being engaging, being a leader who engages everyone. You know, we were used like we have our ideas and we want to introduce to everyone and to implement through people. But at the first, we don't look on their problems, on their priorities. So coming to YALI, to me, among the things I've learned about leadership is to make sure that what is the priority of these people I'm serving? Because I might be going to serve like, we don't want gender-based violence, but do these people have food? Maybe food is their priority, gender-based violence is not their priority. So coming to YALI, I have learned to know our customers or our people's problem first, and then we can use our ideas to induce to them and solve the problems that they have. And it's easiest way to do.
Tanzania, get ready. A leader is rising. What about South Africa? We see you being a leader soon. What is your plans in the next 2 years, 3 years coming forward?
So in the next 2 years, for me, you know, here's what stands out for me when it comes to leadership. It's servant leadership. I believe is the highest form of leadership because it teaches you to be humble. I mean to say, it teaches you to, you know, put others first, not in a way to neglect yourself, but to be able to understand that, you know, sometimes when you're helping someone, you are sowing a seed, so that in anything that you do, things will just open because I mean, the universe responds to that, to say, okay, I see her, she's just doing it for people, why not? Why not open doors? Why not bring, you know, all these grants that are available? Why not?
Wow, such inspiring young ladies. I like especially what the South African girl said. You think coming here to the US to this program is big, but what is big is what's about to come.
That's right.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
So you were in the room with them. What was your observation? You met also other girls.
Yes, so what was their observation? I was really impressed. I mean, these young Africans are already leaders in their communities. I mean, you've seen how they are already like moving and shaking things in terms of the economy, the environment, health, and things like that. What I realize is that they're taking the opportunity to learn more, to sharpen their leadership skills, because they already seen themselves as leaders, but they appreciate being here in the U.S. To sharpen their skills. The other thing I realized, and they told me over and over again, is that they appreciated their networking opportunity.
Exactly.
Because when else do they get to come together on the continent and networks amongst each other? Hey, what are you doing in Burkina Faso? What are you doing in Botswana?
Because these are resources they can tap into anytime they want.
And so that's exactly what they said. They said that they were going to come together, and some of them do projects together and things like that. The other thing is that this is a great program as a connector from the U.S. to Africa, the U.S.-Africa relationship, at a time where the East is investing a lot on the continent. The East is coming in with infrastructure projects and things like that. And so the U.S. should leverage more on this relationship of training the minds and sharpening the minds of Africans in terms of what they want to do as leaders.
These are lifetime resources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know. Well, it's now time for a quick break. When we return, we will meet Oluwafunke Adeoye, 2023 YALI Fellow from Abuja, Nigeria, and the winner of the Watsil Global Citizen Choice Award. She will discuss with us what skills today's youth need to have to be effective leaders of tomorrow. Before that, we ask you to share with us tips for future African leaders, especially young women, and share them with on our social media platforms at VOA Africa. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at VOA Africa. And don't forget to use our hashtag VOA Our Voices. We're also on WhatsApp. Our number is US country code +1 202 503 9025. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Health, wellness, sport, beauty, medical breakthroughs. Healthy Living cares about your well-being. What are the main health concerns in Africa and around the world? Find out the latest on coronavirus. Connect with our experts and ask them questions.
How long does the virus stay?
Join me, Linor Moudou, in Washington, every week on Healthy Living. right here on VOA.
A YALI before?
Yes.
Welcome back. You are watching Our Voices, and we are discussing the journey to effective leadership and gaining the tools needed to impact our communities through the Young African Leaders Initiative, also known as YALI. Now joining us via Skype to discuss this is Oluwafunke Adeoye. She is the 2023 YALI Fellow from Abuja, Nigeria, and the winner of the West Leeds Global Citizens' Choice Award. Ms. Oluwafunke, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon from Nigeria.
Yes, good afternoon. So tell us, so the training, the networking opportunity, all the things you got from YALI, do you feel like they are also applicable on the continent? Do they relate to what is on the ground? Is this something you are going to go and implement right away?
Absolutely. The YALI experience was actually a very holistic experience for me as a young leader from Nigeria. I have been working for the past couple of years trying to reform the criminal justice system, and I was posted to the University of Georgia, where I was able to hone my skills on civic engagement and civic leadership, and just relating with the Americans, going around to different civil society organizations in Atlanta and also in Athens and other parts of the US, relating with the various teams working in this organization. It really helped me because I began to see the various ways I could help develop the work that I was doing. I could also help just hone the work that I was doing. So I was able to hone my skills in areas of advocacy, in areas of media engagement, in areas of even networking. Going for the YALI Fellowship gave me an immense opportunity to network across different stratas. I was able to network with my fellow Africans, and for me, that was like a very huge resource because as I'm talking to you right now, I'm already developing certain project ideas with some other Africans to see how we can further scale our work. So it was a really holistic experience for me.
That's really cements what we were just talking about. And now, what are the tips that you see that young leaders need to solve some of the economic and political issues on the continent right now?
All right. Thank you for that question. So I would say, first of all, is that we need to start with a positive attitude. As a Nigerian living in Nigeria currently, I can tell you for free that there are so many socioeconomic issues that we're facing, and inflation, which is going on in other parts of the world, is also a big struggle for us here. And so before talking about what you need to do or where to start from, it's important to have a positive attitude, to understand that these problems cost across different parts of the world. It's just that it shows up in different ways. When you have a positive attitude, it will help you because when you're doing the kind of work that I'm doing, or when you're doing the kind of work that the aim is to change things in the continent, you're going to be faced with diverse challenges. And that positive attitude is the first place to start, because when you're faced with diverse challenges, you know that this is not a stumbling block, but this is something I can jump on. So I would say, first of all, the positive mindset. And I would also say the right capacity. It's important that you go with the right capacity. And the right capacity doesn't mean you need to have all the educational expertise or experience when you start. I mean, that's where programs like YALI comes up, because the most important thing is starting. When you start that, you're able to just jump in on various opportunities like YALI to help hone your skills, jump in on networks, meetings with different people who have diverse skills.
In line with what you are saying now, what would be the one thing you took away from this year's YALI program, which you are going to be able to, which you plan to implement in what you do right now?
All right. So I think the one thing I would say I took out is that there is power in numbers. The work I'm doing in Nigeria is fantastic, but the numbers, when you look at the different people in Africa who are also facing similar human rights or criminal justice challenge, and we coming together as a force, as one voice, it makes a whole lot of difference. And so, like I was saying, I'm already working with some of my co-fellows from Ethiopia, from Zimbabwe, to see how we can synergize together to just push out the work we're doing in a more sustained effort, using one voice, amplifying our voice. So I would say again that the one thing I've taken out from the fellowship, that there is power in numbers, and because of course Africa has the.
Thank you so much, Oluwafunke, for joining us and sharing your experience from this year YALI program. But before we wrap up today, we want to share with you a YALI fellow who is doing extraordinary things in her community in Uganda in our Women to Watch segment. She's the winner of the 2023 YALI Impact Award.
You can just go. Well, that's right, Siminesh. At the closing ceremony this year, it was announced that Jamila Manyanja, in the 2015 alumni of the fellowship and from Uganda, she's an entrepreneur. She had received the Mandela Washington Fellowship Leadership Impact Award for her work with her company, Smart Girls Uganda. Let's hear from her own words.
Jamila Mayanja. I'm a 2015 fellow from that. I did it at Dartmouth College. This year at the 2023 summit, I've been awarded as a Mandela Washington Leaders Impact Awardee. And I'm excited about it.
It's an amazing and inspiring award for young women. Tell us a little bit about it, because it's not a simple award. It's an award that 700 awardees did not get, but you got it.
Yeah. So my country back home in Uganda actually put me up for nominations, and I won. So it's really more celebrating the work that I've been doing in Uganda, the impact that I've been doing, and really rallying leadership among my fellows.
Has there been challenges that you've seen? And I'm sure young women are watching and they're seeing you rise to this level of recognition. What have been some of the challenges? How have you been able to overcome them in order to move forward as a woman?
In my work, I empower women, young girls who are out of school in getting them in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, tech. So for me, it's really to try and help appreciate that women can really thrive and make it in STEM, even if they've not finished all the many years in university. You can always get this skill, but also to promote innovation, African innovation that can potentially change the African continent. So I really want to inspire more human-centered design innovations that can really create a change, a positive change within our continent.
Congratulations to Jamila. Well, that's it for us today, and we want to thank our guest from Nigeria, Oluwafunke, and that's our show for today. Thank you so much.